decide that maybe marriage isn't what I want. But if I wake up and I say that I don't want to have kids.
Hey, you wake up and you don't want kids, darling. You know what we said. You want to wake up and not have kids, that's a problem. Listen, we're talking to you guys about Ultimatum. Look, it is Rhia. Is she self-sabotaging or is she tired of Trey? Is she self-sabotaging or is she just tired of Trey and the relationship? And I want to say that I'm leaning more towards her being self-sabotaging. And I'll tell you why later on in the video. So if you want to know my thoughts as to why I think she's self-sabotaging, make sure you watch the rest of this video. But for those of us who just joined us, listen, little black book, you know what time it is. Listen, like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We're looking to get to 100,000 this end of this year, so help us get there. If you haven't done so, like this, live, share, subscribe, and also you can join our membership because we have membership only lives during the week of Tuesday, every other week. So if you haven't joined us, make sure you do. It's $1, £1. Get involved. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Okay, that note was slightly off, but don't worry about that. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, that ain't important. Okay, all right, because the streets out there are hot. Stay hydrated. Let's get into this video talking about whether she is self-sabotaging or is she just tired of Trey. And I say it again, I'm leaning more towards the fact that she's self-sabotaging. I had a bit of time to think about it, and what really sold it for me was two things. This conversation and the one previously, which I'll show you a clip for, where she spoke about the fact all she'd ever seen in her family was broken homes, like just broken marriages, situationships, etc., etc. And that can be very scary for somebody when they step into the arena of a committed relationship because they believe it could be the exact same thing for them. If they haven't seen anybody successfully stay together for a period of time, what they may feel is, well, these relationships come to an end, and that can create a fear that they will be abandoned or they will have lost or they will be alone by the end of that relationship. So what sometimes people try to do is they try to get ahead of the devil and they self-sabotage the relationship. Okay, all right. Now, and the reason why I believe it could be more self-sabotage is because the line of questioning was weird. Right, when she started asking questions about would you basically almost in a sense, would you still love me if doing 21 questions, would you love me if I was down and out, would you still have love for me, Trey, pause, would you love me now if I couldn't have kids now? You know what I mean? Like that's what she's doing right now, right? So when she started going down that line of questioning, almost like, would you still love me? Would you still care about me if I still didn't want kids? And maybe I can do a separate video, but I want to say this very, very clearly. Trey's also a problem because he's refusing to be honest about how he feels. You know that kids is a deal breaker. You want legacy. You heard her say it. You want legacy. So the moment she said to you, would you still love me if I was down and out and I couldn't have kids, what would you say? His response should have been, listen, I love you and I care about you. You know my deal breaker is kids. And if you don't want kids, then we need to know, right? That, oh, maybe she wants kids, doesn't want kids. No, she's saying, what if I wake up? That is what I knew was a fear. Just, you know what I mean? Let's just listen a bit
I'm
more.
not with you.
But you'd be okay if you don't have any kids.
I want kids.
But you'd be okay if you didn't have kids.
Now, just before that, she said, obviously, before this point, when you just heard earlier than that, when she started the actual questioning, she actually said, what if I wake up and I don't want kids? That is something that is in the future. She's already thinking about the future, which is creating anxiety that's creating this self-sabotaging behavior. So now she's talking about, now it's almost as if she has to make him prove that he cares for her. So in reality, he's going to be jumping through hoops. So long as she's always going to feel this way, he's going to always be jumping through hoops. What she needs is obviously reassurance, but what she also needs is start working on herself, to really start working on those parts where she starts to feel fear and she makes him jump through hoops to prove that he cares about her. For he cares for you. Cast your burdens onto Jesus, for he cares for you. You know what I mean? So I have no idea what that song meant with this video. It doesn't even align. But so she's sitting there, and I'm gonna play a little bit more of the clip so you can actually see a bit more and understand where we're going.
I mean, you know,
Why is that even? Why are we discussing? I mean, she's breaking up in tears, and nothing was really said. But why are we tearing up and getting all emotional about the fact that you might not want to have kids? You might wake up one day. Not that I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure if I want kids or not. What if I wake up one day and I change my mind? Why is that on your thought process? If you one day wake up and you don't want kids, because basically what she's trying to do is like she knows that kids are very important to him. So what she's trying to do is, if I was to take the thing that you love the most, that you're thinking about the most, and it's no longer present, will you still love me? Right? And on that occasion, that is not about her trying to exit the relationship with Trey. She's not tired of Trey. Now, there are things that Trey can improve on, as she mentioned, but she's not tired of Trey. What she is in fear. She's an anxious person at this moment in time, right? And so now he tries to try and soothe her by not telling the truth. But in the end, all he's going to do is cause more issues in the long term than actually solve by not telling her the truth. Let me get this out. Oh my days. Internet, can you stop playing up?
I feel like, you talk about legacy and, you wanted kids, and I mean, it's something that we have to talk about.
So these tears are as a result of what? Of a situation that we don't even know is going to happen. We don't even know if it's going to happen or not. Right? We don't even know if it's going to happen or not, but she's an emotional wreck because of that question. And so I think she's trying, and that's what we see later on when she starts to discuss about how she starts to discuss later on about how with Brian, and she's so quick to be like, would you cuddle with me in the bed? That in itself tells me how quick she wants to move on. Not because she's tired of Trey, but she's trying to get ahead of the devil. She's trying to foolproof herself, trying to protect herself by jumping in another situation and wanting that high. And the reality is she's actually chasing a high. She's chasing feelings, not the truth. She's chasing feelings. Got me in my feelings. Okay, so she's chasing that feeling of being loved. And I've said this before, I have my own kill switch and I know what it means. And so when I see it, I can see it in other people. There's a kill switch in her. And as soon as those feelings that are high, euphoric, dopamine rush, the cortisol, the adrenaline, as soon as it all wears off and she starts asking real questions, that kill switch is going to kick in again. That self-sabotage is going to kick in again once more because she's afraid that the person will leave her. So what does she do? She's going to leave you before you leave her. I'm going to get you before you get me. I'm going to get you before you get me. I'm going to get you before you get me. You ain't going to get me. I'm going to get you. And that's what she's doing right now, right? She's trying to get him before she gets got, right? Let me see if I can get this clip for you so you can actually see what I was talking about when it comes to Rhia and Trey, and see if you can see.
It's a decision to love somebody every day. It's not just a feeling.
So I haven't seen a happy, healthy marriage. I've only seen, situationships or divorce. But when you're looking at social media, you see all these big old cases of roses. I'm like, oh, that's.
Now we can have a real other discussion because there's a lot more to it. But clearly she has a fallacy when it comes to even what love necessarily is. And you hear him say love is not a feeling, it's a decision, right? So he clearly has some grasp or level of what love is. I'm not saying he has it all, just a grasp. But it's when they start talking about TikTok and how he did a romantic thing for her, and then she talks about how it wasn't like TikTok. Is what made me realize she doesn't have a firm grasp on what is good, healthy love. And so because of that, she's going to keep on sabotaging everything. She's going to keep breaking things because she's never going to feel comfortable. And it's because she doesn't have an idea of what healthy is. She hasn't been in one, probably hasn't seen a healthy relationship, doesn't know what that feels like, hasn't ever felt emotionally safe. And so she's sabotaging now. And something that happens also is this is the orphan spirit. When the orphan gets into a safe house, into a house that is safe, the orphan doesn't automatically feel safe. The orphan is waiting with PTSD that something bad's going to happen, so they're always on edge. So their reactions to things are based upon their survival that they had previously, and so they struggle to make that change into an environment which is safer. And actually, they actually start to destroy things around them because they're used to that carnage and that chaos, and so they elicit carnage and chaos in their situation to feel normal again. Dysfunction becomes normal. Right? Dysfunction becomes normal. You get me? Yeah? So I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts guys below. Like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Remember, help us get to 100K subscribers. Like it, share, subscribe.